So what you're saying is you want Reacher to beat up an old woman, to smack an old woman into a wall.
No, just put her in a wheelchair.
I'd read that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'd read that. Spoilers. We are going to talk about... There will be spoilers all the way through this episode.
I'm going to spoil it for you. That is a hefty hardback.
You know, in the next book, Reacher should use that copy of Exit Strategy as a weapon.
And his opponent should have a James Patterson novel, but it doesn't quite hit as hard.
Oh, that's good stuff. Welcome to All Things Reacher. Andrew McGillan, welcome back. 3rd episode. This episode is all Exit Strategy. We might talk about some other things because I reckon it's going to come up, but let us set the scene. We have both bought Exit Strategy. We have both read Exit Strategy from cover to cover. I'm going to stop saying Exit Strategy because it's quite hard to say.
Exit Strategy.
I'm just going to call it
Exit Strategy.
I'm just going to call it the new book from now on.
That's longer though. The new book. Can you just call it Exity?
That's harder.
Exity.
We've both read the new book.
Exity.
Tell me, where did you buy it? Where did you read it? How many sittings and how long did it take you?
I bought it in the Waterstones. Other bookshops are available. In Bristol, in the Mall, or Mall, if you're from Bristol, which is Cribbs Causeway. I bought it at half price, which was, I think, £11.
Do you know what? I haven't bought a hardback book brand new for so long. Because I went through a phase of only buying secondhand books, and then I would read them, take them back to the secondhand bookshop, right? This one, that wasn't an option because I wanted to get it straight away so that we could do this, right? So I go into WH Smith's, and there's a lovely sticker on the front that says £5 off. I thought, oh, that's great. It's not going to be that expensive. And I scanned it through the thing and it said £17. And I said, oh, I'm really sorry. I called the woman over and I said, I'm really sorry. I think there's supposed to be £5 off. And she went, yeah, there already is. Insane amount of money this book cost me. Anyway, was it worth it? We'll find out towards the end. So yes, too expensive. Books are too expensive.
I'm absolutely the same. I tend to only buy from secondhand shops, or I will buy the paperbacks novels that you get in the Asda, because you normally get 2 for £7. That's a very, in Asda's in Bristol.
Right, so no.
Not having that?
No, we're not advertising Greg's on this one. Now listen. So you bought it from the, how many sittings? Where did you, set the scene for me. Where did you open it? How many sittings did you read it in? And how long did it take you, roughly?
I think I read it in 4 sittings. The first one was... Oh, it was in the pub, the Air Balloon in Bristol. I think it's called the Air Balloon. It might be called
You sat in a pub reading a book?
Yeah.
Dude, that's lovely.
Oh.
I love that.
Well, I'd taken my car in for the MOT. It failed hilariously.
Excellent.
And it's my friend Aaron's garage, and I dropped it off to him, and he was like, I'll get to it at some point. So I had a few hours to kill. So I strolled around to the pub around the corner, had myself a cup of coffee, and opened it, and got my first stint in, and did probably a third of it.
Are you a fast reader?
Reasonably fast, but sometimes my mind wanders. So I'll read a load of stuff, and then I realise I don't know what's going on. I have to go back like 3 pages.
They're relatively short chapters, and I can find myself reading an entire chapter, but I've been thinking about something entirely different.
Yep.
And I have to go back and be like, oh. And then the next chapter doesn't make any sense, so I have to go back and,
Sometimes it will trigger something in my head, and I'll rehash an old argument from 15 years ago. I'll win the argument, but I'll lose the book.
Yeah.
You can't
you'll win the argument, lose the plot. That's the name of the next Reacher. Now, roughly how long did it take you to read it?
In time frame, I don't know. So it was about 4 sittings. That first one was a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then I think I did another big chunk of it in my truck. I live in a big truck. It's got horses written on the front, but there are no horses. I don't mean there are no horses in the world.
I'm having deja vu.
Deja vu.
Yeah, sorry.
Right, okay. Let me try and be serious for a minute.
No, don't do that.
Okay.
This is not the place for that.
That's not what this is about. I'm wearing spectacles, so I'm a much more serious person now.
But the hair disagrees, but yes.
Well, I'm like one of them mullet. I'm like a mullet.
Dude, I think you look great. I like this new hair.
Thanks.
Yeah. And the spectacles are really doing the job. But they don't help you answer questions, though.
No. God, no.
So how long did it take you to read the book?
Maybe 6 to 8 hours total.
Yeah, about the same for me. I did a few sittings. I had quite a few train journeys over the last week. So I was sitting on trains. I reckon it took me about 7 or 8 hours altogether. We'll get into what we actually both think of the book in a bit more detail later on. I found it quite an easy read. There was at no point did I think, oh God, I've got to go back to this book, and I don't want to. I found it quite easy to go back to every single time.
Yes, I found it easy to pick up, but there were a lot of character introductions where I'm like, wait, who's this now? Wait, what? And I did experience some confusion. Also, I think between my first and I had a couple of days away from it, and kind of did have to. It took me a little bit to kind of go, wait, what's going on here now? And then I remembered and carried on.
So, did it feel very first impressions? Let's keep it top level for now, because we're going to get into the weeds on this thing. Top level, first impressions. And did it hook you? Like early on, did it hook you? And did it feel like classic Reacher?
It did hook me, just as page-turny as they always are. Classic Reacher. There's something There's something not quite there about this and the Andrew Child regime.
Yeah. Let's call it what it is. It's a regime.
It's a regime.
Yeah.
Regime or regime?
Regime.
Regime. He's a lovely guy.
Lovely fella.
He's here to take
quite
over.
Dominant.
It's regime. So, yeah, but it's entertaining, but there's something about the character that doesn't seem as rounded as it has been previously when just our boy Lee was writing it. But there were some classic Reacher elements. Can I talk specifically about stuff?
In the next, let me make my point because we're going to get into some of the specifics with my next question. I was hooked, and I think that's because I was so glad to be reading Reacher. That's
it. Yes,
it had been so long since I've read a new Reacher that I was just so happy to be reading Reacher that it didn't matter if it started well or not.
Yeah.
And then on reflection, I had some thoughts, but I was so thoroughly pleased to be reading a new Reacher that it didn't matter.
I think we're in the same place. I think we're in exactly the same place, because it wasn't till afterwards, and once I finished it, and I was like, oh, that was great. But the last bit I'd saved, like the last short couple of chapters of the big finale, I purposely saved it. Like, I could have read it through in 3 sittings, but I was like, no, I'm going to save this till tomorrow. Yeah. And I got excited, and I read it, and I was excited, and it finished. I was like, oh, that was great. And then it wasn't till like the next day that it sort of distilled a bit. And I'm like, it was a bit simple kind of at the end. It was a bit like, oh, that guy did it. Oh, he's dead. Cool. It was just a bit basic, the finish of it.
There was a specific scene that I can't remember how early on it was. It was relatively early on, which I will talk about in a second. But the question for you is, what was the moment? Were there any set pieces that made you go, yeah, this is excellent. This is getting back to classic. This has got me this bit now.
There was. Can I be specific?
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're getting into
the wheelchair bit. The wheelchair around the back of the coffee shop.
Yes, dude, same scene.
Yeah.
Same scene.
So basically...
Go on, what's your take on this?
Right, so those that haven't... So these people are sent... Like, Reacher beats some people up because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, trying to scam someone. He clocks it, gives them a slap, sends them on their way. They send some other people to get him, and these are supposed to be the proper bad guys.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
So we'll get... This scene is... We will talk about this scene because it was one of my favourites, and for me, I was like, and it also brought up some things, right? Now, there's in the early on when he spots those guys doing the spoilers, we are going to talk about, there will be spoilers all the way through this episode.
I'm going to spoil it for you.
The early on, there was a scene where he spots those scammers in the cafe, and then he goes to the car and he kicks the front of the car and the airbags go off. Do we think this is a nod to the TV show where that happens in an episode of the TV show? Reach has never done that before, and I don't think he's done it in any of the books before where he's kicked the car, but he does it in the TV show. He kicks the car and the airbags go off, and I was like, oh, is that a little nod to the fact that we now have two Reacher worlds at the same time where they're producing a TV show and still writing the books? Is Andrew going, this is a nod to the TV show?
Oh, maybe.
Is it a bit meta?
Because Lee and Andrew, do they write the TV show? Do they write the screenplays for it? Or are they...
Lee is a consultant on the TV show.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Then maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think that has happened in another film/TV show as well, though. Like, I think I've seen that in something before. I'm thinking of Bruce Willis in Lethal Die Hard.
Lethal Die Hard. Lethal Die Hard Boy Scout.
Yeah, no, in the Die Hard, the one with the young kiddie in it at Dodgeball, forget his name, where he twats the front of a car. No, it's not the same thing at all. You could probably cut around all this because it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So I like to think that is a nod to him doing it in, I can't remember what season or episode it is, but Alan Richardson, I'm fairly sure, kicks the front of a car, the airbags go off, and I think they've taken that and put it in the book.
Now that you say that, I think, that.
Which I think is great.
Yeah.
So the scene at the cafe with the wheelchair, talk to me about this and what your thoughts were and why it stood out for you, please.
So this for me was classic Reacher, where there's a setup in the book where some people, and you kind of, they're getting in their main henchmen. They're getting in the baddest people they've got to come and mess with Reacher and to take care of him.
And they really set it up like these are excellent at their job.
Yeah, you're not, he's fucked now. That's it, we've got him. And just as soon as he finds out about it, and even when he goes and speaks to the barista, like straight away, he's not fooled. And that is, he's in the novel, it still kind of leaves you thinking, oh, well, maybe he's going to, and it seems like he's going to do something else. And then as soon as he goes around the back, I almost feel sorry for them. But I was expecting them to have a bit more of a fight about them. But when he comes around the back, he looks at them through a wooden fence. He realizes if I try and climb that, it might come apart. So I'll just run through it. I'll just go straight through it, batter them about the place.
And it's instant. His decision to do that is instant. Yeah. It's like, oh, I won't go over it. I'll just go through.
Batter through it, smash them about a bit, break all their legs. And it's just like that for me was classic Reacher, the straightest point from A to B. There's no mucking about.
Totally agree with that. However, one of them is, he incapacitates one of them, and then he says something to the other one and says like the wheelchair, and so like, I'm going to warn you, and then if you don't heed the warning, I'm going to break your legs. Right. So the guy doesn't heed the warning and he breaks his legs. But then all of that classic Reacher for me. Absolutely agree with you. But then he goes back to the first person who's already incapacitated and stomps on their legs and breaks their legs as well. And that for me made me go, I didn't dislike it, but it made me go, whoa, Reacher is getting brutal in his old age. That seemed like a step further than he might have gone in the past.
I don't know, because because he said he was going to do it.
To the second guy.
No, but
then he goes back and does it to the first guy who's already unconscious.
No, but doesn't he tell both of them?
No, so this is what... Oh, maybe I have to go back and read it. So my interpretation of it was, he incapacitates the first guy, then says to the second guy, who's the wheelchair for, and if you don't heed my warning, I'm going to break your legs. He does that. He sticks to his word. The guy doesn't heed the warning and he breaks his legs. And then the guy that's already incapacitated, he breaks his legs as well.
No, I think he says at some point, because they'd come to break his legs, it's more like oh, you were going to break my legs. No, I'll break your legs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we might be
maybe I've got it wrong. But anyway, I did think, is Reacher getting... He's vicious, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really vicious. And I did think, is Reacher getting really brutal in his old age? The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about with this was the way they use signposting all the way through this novel. I'll give you 2 examples of it. This is one example of it, which is the leg breaking. So they set up the leg breaking here, that he's got no problem breaking someone's legs, and then later at the end there's leg breaking. So I like that they're signposting. The other signposting that they use, which is also setting up what he does at the end, is the whole looking up thing. That I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty good, because as soon as it happened in the warehouse the first time, I was like, oh, this is going to come back.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
Yeah. No one ever looks up. Yeah, no, that's very good. Yes.
There were a lot of elements that I liked. We'll get to later. I'll just be completely honest right now. There was also quite a bit of stuff that I didn't necessarily think was great about this one. So while we're on it, what did you... Because you sent me a very interesting message about one of the things that you noticed about Reacher in this one. So what were your observations about Reacher in this novel, and did it feel like Reacher to you?
Not as I've known him before. It was a bit too easy for him at times. Like, it was almost like he had sort of spidey sense, like Peter Parker. It was too... He was too intuitive.
The lizard brain came into effect.
Yes,
a lot.
And normally he does this whole lizard brain thing where he gets pricking in the back of his neck, and there was one about parking cars, and it seemed a bit forced. It seemed like it was crowbarred in to make this bit of the story work. Like, how does Reacher know about that?
Yeah.
Oh, he's magic.
Yeah,
and it just felt a little bit too much like a superpower rather than just honed skills over decades of working and being a detective, basically.
And there was a lot of times where that happened where there's zero explanation.
Yeah, it's just like that. Tingle, tingle, tingle. Oh, there's the bad guys.
Yeah,
like, dude, come on.
Yeah,
I mean, you're good, but you're not Peter Parker good.
There was also a moment. Stop touching me. There was also a moment where it's with I can't remember the character's name, but it's the other army guy. Can you remember his name?
Nathan.
That's it, Nathan Gilmour. Well done. And he says something to Nathan Gilmour, and Nathan Gilmour goes, "Why?" And Reacher literally just goes, "It's a rule," and they move on. And it's like, there's no explanation. He literally just says, "It's a rule," and then and Nathan Gilmour must have been like, "Oh, okay." I can't remember. It doesn't matter what it was. It was just like, "Oh, right, okay." It was too easy. So much of it was too easy.
Yeah.
Also, but here's the other thing, right? Here's what I want from a Reacher novel. I don't want it to try and be clever. I don't want it to be complicated. I want the bad guy to be doing something bad, and it's really easy to understand what that bad thing is. There was elements of this that were so overly complicated that didn't... When it was Lee doing it on his own, and I'm not saying this is Andrew's fault, because actually as a thriller, it was decent enough and I enjoyed it. But there's an element of, oh, they think this thing is happening, but then, oh, it's this other thing. But then there's another bad guy who's going to do this thing. And there was like about a third of it in the middle that was way more complicated than it needed to be. And it was all around the cargo container.
Yeah.
And like, who was stealing the cargo container? And was it these bad guys or was it those bad guys? It was just like, just have one person that's doing a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that, but because there was a point where it's like, right, well, it's either the CIA doing this or smugglers doing this. Either way, fuck them both. I'm not bothered. Like, and Reacher's always like, fuck them then. I did like the fact that Reacher stayed for the hell of it. Stayed because it was something that was the right thing to do. But I also didn't like that fact because I feel like there's been other novels where he's gone, oh, no, fuck that, that's none of my business. Like, and then he gets dragged into it. Is this one he kind of dragged himself in? And it's like, have you been on your own for too long, mate? You're just a bit bored? You want to snap some knees?
Dude, you've absolutely nailed one of my other problems with it, is I feel like this whole novel is something that 10 years ago Reacher would have walked away from.
Oh yeah. Yeah, not bothered.
He would not have got involved with this whole thing. He would have just gone, no.
I think possibly the although I do quite like the start with Nathan Gilmour putting the note in his pocket. Right. And something I just have to point out. Page 2, it was.
Right.
Page 2 where it says Reacher.
We're going to cover every single page in this review. No, go on.
Page 2 where it says Reacher is £265 and 6'5".
6'5", 250.
6'5", 250.
Yeah. Here we go.
Page 2, Tom. Page 2. Now,
this moves me on nicely. No, go on. I'll let you finish.
Well, and so all it is just a nod back to previous episodes where I've suggested that Tom Cruise may have been miscast.
Yeah. Are you picturing Alan Ritchson when you're reading this?
I am now.
Yeah.
I really am now.
I don't mind it.
No, neither do I. Again, as I've said before, Richardson, you're a little bit too pretty for the original Reacher in my head because you're a beautiful looking man. I just feel like he's not quite, but the right build, but you're also very muscular. And I don't think Reacher's he's not a gym bunny. He's not toned like that. He's just, he's well.
See, I think he is. I just don't think he works at it. I think it's all, as he would say, I think it's all just genetics.
Yes, fair enough.
And I am. And do you know what I realised? I realised that previously, before Alan Ritchson, I was just picturing a shape. He was faceless. He was.
That's the point of them.
But now it is Ritchson.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely Ritchson. And yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think he does great in the series.
He does.
I think he does seem to get the stillness and but also the menace and the destructive power of Reacher.
How old is Reacher in this? Not like some super fan will know the answer to this, but he must be in his 60s now, right? Reacher must be in his 60s.
Yeah, because they've got smartphones, and this is set in it.
And it's been 30 years that Lee Child's been writing them. Like, wasn't the first one like 98? Roughly 97 Killing Floor.
Yes.
Right. So if you know the answer to this, how old is Reacher? Someone out there knows how old is Reacher.
I reckon. Can I talk about what my friend said?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
So I reckon my friend Phil Blake will know the answer to that. As a massive Reacher head, and he said something. I'm going to read and quote him rather than just paraphrase because he has a much more eloquent way of words than I do. I'm not a fan of the Andrew Child books, unfortunately. To me, they read like bad fanfic. The wit and style and intelligence and the actual innate character of Reacher are just not there. And we were trying to put words around this previously of like the Andrew, and it's like there was something missing. He's an English literature master, so he knows, he has the way of words to express.
That's amazing.
Good wording, Andrew. Good wordlies. And it's frustrated him, and he's even said he's not even going to bother reading Exit Strategy.
See, I think that's a shame. I think, yes, your friend has completely summed up what I wasn't able to sum up. The only thing I could think was, they're not quite the same. I don't know what it is, though. But I think Phil, yeah. Yeah, I think Phil is spot on with that. I do think it's a shame not to read it, because while I agree it's not the standard that it was, it's still fun to be reading Reacher. I enjoyed it enough that I would absolutely keep reading Reacher with Andrew writing them, even though I acknowledge they're not as good as they once were.
And then just to quote Phil again, this part of the same message back and forth. The Lee books have a cadence and a poetry to the language. The Andrew books are like every other dumb thriller on the shelf. Just my opinion. I kind of agree with your opinion, Phil.
Dude, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And it's, I now need to go.
But I enjoy it enough, dude. I enjoy it enough.
Right, like any other page-turning thriller that you just passionately...
I would still go to this over James Patterson.
Right, this is why he doesn't quite hit as hard, does he?
I haven't got it in for James Patterson, but I've started a thing.
Like James Patterson. You heard it here first. But this is what I mean, to go back to what gripped me with Reacher in the first place. I bought in an airport or wherever, or it might even been secondhand books or whatever. The first one I bought and I read, it was gripping like a page turner, but there was much more depth to it and much more. And he's absolutely right. Like the age Reacher is kind of a factor, and the situation it's in, and it gives a texture and a feel to it that the Andrew ones don't seem to, and but it's still, I mean, that'll make you turn the page and it's exciting enough. But it's the difference between, I think Groucho Marx said, if you dress a stuntman up as an old woman and you send him in a wheelchair down a hill towards a brick wall and you show a wheelchair wall, smack, and he hits it and falls out, we laugh because the device is funny. But what makes it truly comic is if it's a real old woman. I think the Andrew Child ones, you got a stuntman. The Lee Child ones, it's a real old woman.
So what you're saying is you want Reacher to beat up an old woman, to smack an old woman into a wall?
No, just put her in a wheelchair.
I'd read that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'd read that.
I think I've crowbarred that analogy in there.
I know exactly what you mean. Now, part of that, I think, for me, is the two things that I'm going to ask you about next. Supporting characters in this novel. Give me your thoughts on the supporting cast or characters.
I quite liked Nathan Gilmore.
I think it's telling that I couldn't remember his name.
Right. I only quite liked him because in my head, I want to play him in the next film or TV series version. So I was instantly casting myself in that role.
Yeah.
And I think I just superimposed myself onto him. But again, a bit, there were some moments in his frustrations and stuff where I thought there was a bit more character to him. But again, a little bland. One of my favorite supporting characters was the bouncer, the doorman of the underground poker club that he goes to, that you meet for like
he's literally in
one page,
in
one
like
page,
two, yeah.
and just Reacher has respect for him, and he's like a 65-year-old man.
Excellent.
And he's just like, yeah, Reacher's like, yeah, this cat knows.
And then you never
see him again, and it was set up.
Excellent.
It was right there, set up to be something good, and it's
You're
like
absolutely right.
Do you know what it's like? It was one of those like,
yeah.
Wait, what's he gonna do? And then nothing goes nowhere.
Nailed it, mate. You've absolutely nailed that because
thanks.
Honestly,
I work out, so
all of the other characters, nah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Nah.
Yeah. It's
where. There was nothing to Nathan Gilmore. There was no reason to remember him. Sabrina, meh, fine, whatever, fine.
The whole plot with the Armenian woman or where it was who's been kidnapped and brought over, and she's already. But it was just again,
so
a bit convoluted.
I can't remember the name of the novel where all the way through it's a Reacher novel where all the way through you have these news articles and then TV in the background, and it's about like the weather in Miami, and the plot is about all of these is about smuggling and how these things are coming in through a port. It's one of the earlier ones. I can't remember which one it is, but you know what I'm talking about, where there's stuff on the news all the way through and you're like, how is that related to the main plot? And then Lee ties it all together really nicely. This, where you've got like, Reacher picks up and there's an article about, I'm just like, that was all crowbarred for me and not done as well as it's previously been done.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. At the time, I didn't really think that as much. It was only afterwards when I thought about it more and then was trying to compare it to previous novels. And then I'm like, oh, that's quite clever. And I'm like, it's not as clever as previously.
No. The theme, one of the overriding themes of the war for profit thing, great, explore that. Very happy to explore that. Yeah. Capitalism and people making profit from war, love all of that, which is what the bad guy is trying to do. Let us talk about this bad guy. When you first meet this bad guy, Morgan Strickland, the description of him is he's missing an eye, he's missing his left arm, and I was like, yes, it's quite Bond. Quite, and I was like, yes, I'm loving this to start with. By the end, meh. Yeah. Because can I tell you why, Andrew? Can I tell you why I thought that?
I should like nothing more.
His only motivation, as far as I can tell, was money. Like, that's not good enough. That isn't good enough, man. And also, he was nowhere near bad enough. Like, the way they set up the storeroom, what's in that storeroom, I was like, that's great. I really want to know what's in that storeroom. It didn't shock me what was in the storeroom.
No, I thought it'd be some people being experimented on or something.
Go further with that stuff, man. Like, it didn't, like, he wasn't bad enough. I wanted it to be like, even if it went cartoon Bond villain, I'd have been happier with that, with the missing arm, and I'd have been happier with that than where it actually went. He wasn't bad enough for me.
It's like has been a reach novel previously where the bad guy he'd been captured during some conflict, some war, and then every day on your birthday you would get a limb cut off.
Yeah,
but he ends up not being the bad guy, and you think he's the bad guy, and he's set up as the bad guy, but it's just much more intricate, and he has reason to be the way he is.
Yep.
And I exactly get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was a bit two-dimensional.
Money is not enough.
No.
Money is not a big enough reason for me.
No. And
one of my favorite villains is it Hook Hobie? Who's literally got a hook.
Yes.
It's in Tripwire, I think.
Yes.
I can't remember his name. I think it's Hook Hobie. That where he's got the physical the physical thing going on, but his motivation is so deep and it's so convincing. Like, that's a good villain.
Yeah.
For me, this guy was like
I wasn't really scared for Reach. Aside from
he took him out way too easy.
Yeah,
it was too easy.
Yeah, and it's like with the and also all the guys that come to rush the fort bit at the end again just felt a little bit cartoony and a bit crowbarred in.
Too easy.
Yeah, it was a bit too easy. I mean, when I read it, I was excited by it, but then my brothers have a thing about me. If a film is Andrew good, it could be a really good film, but it's often a really crap film that I really like. And it was a bit Andrew good.
Oh, yeah, right. We've torn it apart a little bit, and I've said some stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I still really enjoyed it because it's Reacher and it's good enough. It's good enough, dude, for me.
Yeah, I happily agree with that. I was happy at the end of it. It was only when I began to sort of analyze myself, second guess it, and after what Phil said as well, made me kind of go back and sort of think about it a bit more.
So after other people gave you your opinions.
Yes. I am a blank canvas. Do with me as you please.
Andrew, let us do a fun section that I like to call the Cast and the Furious.
That's good.
If you were the head of casting on the next TV show or movie and you had to cast the one-armed bandit Morgan Strickland, who are you casting and why?
Tom Cruise.
Oh, God.
No, but...
Okay.
No.
Okay, I shall go with you on this journey.
I think Tom Cruise would lend a gravitas more than is in the book. I think he'd be able to create the character in a much more rounded way. Also, you see that film he was in about the Nazis where he only had one arm. So he's already used to acting with one arm. That's it.
You've actually thought this through and given an excellent answer. I've got two rubbish joke answers for mine. Yours is way better.
Have your shitty jokes.
So I'm going to go with Rhys Ifans.
Okay, great actor.
Because he's a great actor and he's already played a one-armed villain in Spider-Man.
Again, gone with the theme. Nice.
I've gone with the theme. My other answer is the baddie from The Fugitive. You know why.
The one-armed man.
Next fun section is called Terminal Behaviour. Solid work. Have you ever... there's a scene where Reacher goes through a security arch thing, security gate thing. He's got a phone in his pocket. The gate doesn't go off. Question for you. Have you ever set off the alarms at an airport or anywhere going through one of those sensor things? What happened?
Set it off on a couple of occasions, and it's mostly in my belt. I like to wear a metal belt buckle, and metal belt buckle, and I just took my belt off and then went through.
Mine is when I was about 7 years old, and security had just come in, and they have those little things where they can see what's in the suitcase. And I had a little toy gun that my dad had said to me, do not, you can't take this on holiday. We were going to Mauritius. My dad is from Mauritius. We were going on holiday to Mauritius in the summer of, I'm going to say 89 probably. So I was probably 8 years old. And he'd said to me, you need to leave this gun at home. So he took it out of the suitcase. Unbeknownst to my parents,
Oh, you moron.
I put the gun back in the suitcase and it goes through the thing and my whole family gets taken into a little room because I put this thing back in. Yeah, so I actually stopped an airport at 7 and I'll do it again. Andrew, we are on to the final section called Read It, Watched It, Punched It. It's confession time. I realised something.
I never touched it.
I was doing research for a video that I'm going to make, which is my top 5 Reacher books. Right. So while I'm doing the research for this, I'm going through all of the books and reading the synopses for all of the books. I'd always said synopsata in the Greek. I'd always said that I'd read all of the books, seen the films, and now finished the TV show. So I had consumed all Reacher lore. I was reading the synopses for all of the books, and I came across Echo Burning and realised, as I was reading the synopsis, I haven't read this one. This is unfamiliar. I haven't read it. So I went out and bought Echo Burning. So that is my confession in the Read It, Watched It, Punched It, because I'd always said I'd read all of them, I'd watched all of them, but I haven't. I'm now halfway through Echo Burning because it comes up on a lot of the top 5 lists. It's regularly one of the top 5s, and I was like, I can't make my list until I've read this one then, because it wouldn't be fair. It's excellent. Having just finished Exit Strategy, going on to one of the older ones, I think it's the fifth ever. It's really, really excellent so far. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The introduction of Reacher's character, the introduction of the side character, already was just so much
far superior.
Much better. Much better.
Andrew.
So my question for you, yes, Andrew, in the Read It, Watched It, Punched It segment is, if someone came to you who had never read or watched Reacher before and said, shall I read Exit Strategy? What would you say?
It's fluffy. It's Exit Strategy is a fluffy book. It's not good Reacher. No, I'd probably say go back and read a different one. I'm not mad that I've read it. I probably won't read it again. Whereas now you just saying Echo Burning, I kind of want to go back and read Echo Burning. And what my mate Phil was saying, I'm like, yeah, I kind of need to go back and read, because it's been a while since I've read any of the previous ones. Yeah. And I've obviously read the last Lee and Andrew ones, and something's missing, and I need to go back to. But then there was the TV series to consume with Richardson, which I really loved. Yeah. And so my Reacher fix has been sated by that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'd say there are better. But if it's available there and you're just about to get on a plane and you've got like a 10-hour flight, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can do worse. So you can certainly do worse. I would say, if you've never read Reacher, don't start with this.
Yeah. It's like with Terry Pratchett, I used to always say, go right back to the start and start with the first, with the Sorcery and the Colour of Magic, I think they were first 2. And now I'm like, absolutely not. No, pick something in the middle, because they all exist independently, although they're all related to each other.
Like Reacher.
Yes, but then go back and read those first 2 once you've got an idea of the world. Right. So this is it's like Reacher Light.
Yeah, dude, that's great. That's great. I would say if you're already a fan of Reacher, if you're a fan of thriller books, absolutely read this book, because it's an easy read. It is an easy read. It's slightly overcomplicated in the middle, but it's an easy read. I enjoyed reading it, but don't read this first if you've never read any Reacher.
No, it's like, if you're a James Patterson fan, maybe read this one. I was just trying to do a link in. I've never read any James Patterson, so I don't actually know. I've genuinely never read any James.
That. I love that. I've read a few James Patterson novels, and they're totally fine. But for some reason, I'm going to start James Patterson bashing. I don't know why. I started doing it in some street interviews, and now I'm going to carry it on. I'm carrying it on through this podcast.
Just making content, just trying to get just rage baiting James Patterson.
Is this book TV show or movie adaptation worthy?
Yes. Yes, this is what I mean. I think because it's simpler.
Interesting.
And I'd probably say more film than TV, because you could knock this into an hour and a half and have it as an action film. There's some good scenes in it. You can have some big set pieces.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it would work as a film. TV series less so, because you can go more in depth.
I think it would have to be season 20. If we make it to season 20, let's do Exit Strategy. Otherwise...
What, over the TV series?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. By then, you could probably just get Lee to just write some more stuff.
Just write a new one, specifically for TV. Andrew, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome for my presents.
This has been All Things Reacher. You know, if they ever film Exit Strategy, I want a cameo in it.
What would you play?
I would play the alarm at the airport.
Yes, loud, annoying, difficult to ignore. Yeah, that works.
Thank you.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
See you next time.
Bye-bye now.